Hello and welcome back to the Collegian Cooldown, our sports podcast here from the Collegian. I'm Finnley, the sports editor, joined by Alexis and Val. We got a lot to talk about. It is Thursday, February 5th. It is about 4 o'clock, so that means a trade deadline has passed in the NBA. A whole lot of moves. Some of them that we could have seen coming, like Jimmy Butler moving on from Miami. But the biggest one of the week, Luka Doncic to the Lakers. We have a Lakers fan right here, so we get to talk all things Los Angeles. Sorry, Mavs fans, you're going through it. I'm a Chicago fan. I'm going through it as well. So, Val, Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. You lose Anthony Davis, but you get a 25-year-old star who's been playing for 7 years now. How do you feel?
I mean, it feels nice. LeBron has been doing it. I wouldn't say on his own because he did have a lot of help with Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis has always been very injury-prone. Mm-hmm. That man cannot stay healthy to save his life. So kind of like not getting rid of the bad apples in a way, but making some room for growth. I feel like this could be kind of Kobe and Shaq type of dynamic duo. They're both very similar in their play style, so it would be kind of different to see. But it's exciting. I know that Luka did take a pay cut, though, so I don't know.
Well, forced to, yeah. He had the opportunity for the Supermax next year. They trade him, don't have to pay him that. So.
Yeah, so we'll see. I know money gets in the way all the time for
the Lakers are
players.
set for a long time.
They have their star when LeBron does move on and retire. I think Lakers fans thought they had another star in Dalton Connect, but they traded him away. I believe it was earlier yesterday for Mark Williams from the Hornets. So the Lakers are making moves. I was at work on Saturday night, and I got the alert for the Luka AD trade. I was beyond shocked. I mean, no one saw this coming. Yeah. Lakers fans, Mavs fans, and a lot of Mavericks fans are pretty upset with management.
Did you see
in Dallas.
the little protest kind of thing they had outside the stadium?
Really?
Yeah, they had they were holding up signs like, "What is this GM doing?" I mean, everyone was out there outside of the Mavs stadium.
Well, I mean, you can't
pretty
be happy
pissed
when you're losing Luka to another team. And, like, they're not really getting the same caliber players back. They do get a first-round pick in, 2027. So even then, they don't know who is going to be leading that team now. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know. I feel like the Lakers finessed the Mavs.
Oh, for sure. Rob Pelinka, he was in his bag with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Luka Doncic, and you don't have to give up a whole lot of picks. I mean, you see what happened last year going into this season. Mikal Bridges from Brooklyn over to New York. He was worth 6 draft picks. So when you get Luka, who one of the best players in the NBA for, an old Anthony Davis, and you lose Max Christie.
Yeah, young talent there. I was kind of sad to see him go just because his play style is very, I don't know, I want to say LA familiar. He reminds a lot of fans of Kobe Bryant. So I wish him the best. I hope he strives in Dallas, but we're getting Luka, so.
Do you think Luka would even be able to play with LeBron though? They're both ball hogs. Their playing style might actually not work out.
I think LeBron, an older LeBron like he is now, I think it can definitely work, and he's wanted to play with him for a while since Luka came into the league. So I think it'll be interesting for LeBron to now we can officially take a back seat and say, Luka,
but I don't think LeBron's going to want to. LeBron is LeBron. That guy's not going to want to take a back seat and be like, this is your team. He's not going to want to do that. I don't think he's going to do that.
It might not be his choice, too. JJ Redick is the head coach. I know they're good friends, but
LeBron owns the front office.
He wants to win.
That guy owns the front office.
If he owned the front office, to be quite honest with you, I don't think he makes this trade because him and AD are so close.
But you just said they've been wanting to play with each other.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, LeBron is the type of guy, I feel to want to do something like that. But I'm not going to discount the front office, logistics that they went through, of course. But I don't know. I was seeing a bunch of things on Instagram and stuff. It was Le GM.
Oh yeah, Le GM every time. Yeah, Le Coach when he was in Cleveland. There's a whole lot. I think at this point, even when he was in Cleveland, he has. I would say he has full say in everything because.
But then again, to your point, LeBron has played with these top high caliber athletes, and it's meshed well. So I'm not saying that it can't work with Luka, but I don't know. Them two both always want to have the ball, and plus it's like, I don't know. I think, and when the Luka trade came out, I was like, like I don't know, and I kind of was like, what does this mean in like NFL terms? Because I'm like, I know more about. And so they said they're like, it is like, I don't know. It was this one idea that was like makes sense. They said like the Bills think that defense wins Super Bowls, so they trade Josh Allen for like T.J. Watt. And I'm like, yeah, that makes kind of sense, you know? Yeah. So it's like, that's the closest comparison to you NFL people out there.
It's very hard. I mean, you can't compare it to any trade in NBA history because it just hasn't happened. A guy like Luka. But lucky for us, that's not the only trades that have happened. So we'll get off of Nico Harrison's back, the GM of Dallas, although he's going through it right now.
Yeah.
A couple other trades around the league. Jimmy Butler was the biggest name. Going into the deadline, a whole lot of stuff, getting suspended multiple times from Miami because he just didn't want to be there anymore. He still had 2 years on his contract. Decided, I don't want to be here. Everyone thought he's going to Phoenix, pairing up with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal going to Miami. He ends up getting traded to the Golden State Warriors.
Crazy.
Which I don't really know how I feel about that. A Warriors fan saying Steph Curry needs help. They've been saying that for years. They get Jimmy Butler, and he did sign a pretty big extension. Is he the answer for Golden State, who's middle of the pack right now, looking at a play-in game in the playoffs?
I think it's not the final answer. I mean, it's definitely going to be a help. Losing Klay Thompson, losing other players as well from the Warriors has not been easy for the team, especially since they've had so much success in the past. Not something that we've seen recently. So I think it's definitely a help. Just by the way he was towards the end in Miami, if he sticks with that attitude, that could be a factor in like not playing well. But obviously he just wanted to get the heck out of there, so that's why he was acting that way. So I think a change of attitude could help him and help the Warriors as well. I am a Warriors hater though, so that's my take.
I feel like, mind you, we should. I feel like a lot of people should have speculated already that he was coming to a California team, because right after he got suspended from Miami, this past time he got suspended, he was spotted, and if we find the clip we'll insert it, but he was spotted at the baseline sitting courtside at the San Diego State basketball game when they played Wyoming in San Diego at home. So it's like, you're from Miami, like, I don't know, people are saying like bro's just like on another mission or whatever, like doing side quests or whatnot, but like you should have, I mean, like, obviously we didn't know, but
you thought he was dropping hints?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, that could have been like a hint. It's like, okay, he might be coming to a California team now, because what is he doing across the country at California? I did see that, which was pretty cool because San Diego State is in our conference.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, what if like Fresno was playing them at the time? And yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we could have known that he was already going to a California state, coming to a California team. But it's crazy, like, for him to be at a conference opponent's game.
And I mean, he had nothing to do with that college. He went to Marquette. So
yeah.
it's really weird
I know
that he's going to a Mountain West matchup.
And he was wearing a San Diego hat. So I don't know. Maybe
Jimmy,
in a
what's
way,
the connection here?
He was repping like California, I guess. I don't know. I was like, dang, if he would have just connected the dots earlier. But yeah, crazy how it works.
I thought it was really weird that he went to Golden State, because there was a report that came out earlier this week that he had no intentions of re-signing with Golden State after this year. And then he comes out as soon as he gets traded, signed 2-year, $212 million extension to 2027. I thought that was really interesting. And the Warriors did not go out and get a big man to pair with all of them. I thought they were going to go out and get Nikola Vucevic from the Bulls. But yeah, the Warriors just made that Jimmy Butler trade and pretty much said, this is what we're rolling with. We got a couple young guys, but it's just going to be Steph and Jimmy from here on out.
Yeah, but what happens when they retire? Steph doesn't have much left.
And he's been saying he's been looking at the future to retire pretty
Jimmy's
soon.
been in the league for a long time. So what happens to the Warriors franchise when they're gone.
When Draymond's gone, Steph, Jimmy, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
You're-
Kuminga if that's the guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
they don't
looking-
want to give him the ball right now. I
Yeah.
don't really get it.
You're looking at like a short-term fix, but long-term, it's like
I mean,
this team's gonna be
not to
rebuilding.
backtrack a bit, but a little bit kind of in the same aspect for the Lakers. Like Luka, obviously a younger player, he's probably going to be in the league for a bit more time. But LeBron, he's on his way out. Like he's playing with the sun, and I mean that was like
His
his
son's-
end goal.
Yeah, he played after he went to the G League.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Lakers are set up because Luka's gonna be with them.
but the Warriors, I don't know.
Warriors just made this trade, but they're all old guys.
Mhm.
I mean, it fixes
On
a
the
problem
team.
now, right, for this season. But looking to the future,
But
I
are
mean,
they
they do have
really?
that
Are they not even
pick.
contenders right now?
They're
Yeah.
like the 9th seed maybe, so play-in
Yeah.
game, but that's not a place that you want to be. The Lakers, with the 5th seed, you can look at it a whole lot of ways. Getting Luka could be a long-term thing, or it could be a win-now thing. Now that they traded for another center, and then going back to Dallas, I don't really know what they're doing because if you're trading away the guy that you drafted, you traded the Trae Young pick to get Luka Doncic. You figured you would get some future draft picks. Instead, you get AD, Max Christie. I guess they're in win-now mode. I really don't know what to say with Kyrie and Clay.
Yeah, I
over
think
there.
it was more like of a win-now situation. Again, I don't know why you would
Yeah.
even. I mean, it threw everyone for a roll that
Yeah.
day.
Well, I mean,
It
if
was
it's
crazy.
Dallas fans protesting outside of their stadium, of their venue, like obviously, there's something wrong.
Yeah, Mark Cuban probably shaking his head. Maybe I shouldn't have
Oh.
sold my shares.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have
Yes,
kept a
I
hold of the
seen
team.
something else. It was a couple years ago. Mark Cuban. They asked him a question.
Ugh.
I don't know if it was at press or not, but they
Yeah.
asked him a question, and they were like, "Would you ever trade Luka?" And he's like, "Or get a divorce, or pick one or the
Divorce.
other."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm divorcing my wife. I'm never trading
He's
him."
picking Luka over everything.
Fast
No
forward
way.
to this, I'm like, "What the heck are you thinking? Like, do you not remember what you were talking about? Do you
Yeah.
not remember what you
Yeah.
said?" Yeah.
I think he thought the team was in good hands and he sold, and now it's just. I mean, you're losing.
Yeah.
You're obviously losing your star player, but you're also losing a whole lot of fans. One of my coworkers is actually a Mavericks fan, and he's just going through it right now. He has no idea what's going on. I mean, he's close. He's close to switching to another team at this point.
Lakers, come to the Lakers. side.
Could be a Lakers fan.
Imagine
moving forward.
how many of those Luka jerseys for the Lakers are going to sell.
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot,
And
it's
also,
not,
I seen
like-
something also completely like a little bit separate. I seen that they were like petitioning to have AD's number retired, and I'm like, all right, what are we doing now?
there's way too many numbers,
Yeah.
especially in Los Angeles to get retired.
like-
I don't think AD
Yeah, I
one
don't
ring
think.
covers that.
Mm-mm.
Do you think the Lakers are going to be able to get Luka to lose some weight?
I don't.
Like-
Okay, this is like the similar situation to James Harden a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's true until I
He's
see
a
a
big
scale.
boy.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
So was James Harden. I mean, he had that like pregame belly that one game in
Yeah.
Houston.
But that's sometimes used to an advantage. I mean, if you have like the
No,
smaller
but
players, you have
that's
a bigger
the
body to
pro-
push them up to.
That's the problem that they had the Mavs had with Luka. It's like they couldn't get him to ever like
yeah.
lose some
Conditioning,
weight.
and then
Conditioning was
defense
a thing.
Defense
Yeah.
was a big part of this trade.
Exactly. Like, you think LeBron better start working him out? 'Cause
I think LeBron will
It's like-
get to him. I think JJ Redick will
I
get to
hope
him as
so.
well.
I mean, that guy. I was looking at his first press pictures where he was like holding the jersey. I'm like, man, you're a
He's a big boy.
big
He's a
guy. He's like, he's like 270, I think.
I don't know about the numbers. Again,
But-
I gotta wait for the scale, but he's definitely
That's so funny.
Yeah.
he's a little bigger. He's on the
Which
bigger
was
side.
part of why he did end up getting traded also, because they couldn't manage that. But that was
Mhm.
crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like even then you just don't trade a player like that for the players that you get, and for a
Yeah.
draft pick that's
Yeah,
in,
there's
like,
ways to work you out,
2
huh?
years. Yeah, like in those 2 years you could have probably made Luka lose some weight and get him in better shape or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
Unless
Out for the Mavs.
the Mavs training staff knows he's got a bad calf or something because he hasn't
Yeah.
played in a while since
True.
December.
Yeah. So going on to that, what do you think the time frame is of them even coming back?
They're
Because ADs didn't play either.
Right. He should be coming back
sooner than
sooner than Luka.
Yeah.
Luka, they were saying as soon as Saturday before the All-Star break, but if he doesn't play before the All-Star break, I think they'll probably ease him into it because calf strains, I mean, you're a Niners fan, you know about calf strains with CMC. They're not an easy
Yep,
thing to
he
deal
was
with.
battling through that too.
overseas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. What a trade, man.
Yeah.
How do you think this changes it for the future?
Mavs are very interesting because, I mean, they're not having a good year anyways. Luka wasn't playing to start, hasn't played since December.
But do you think there'll be more like blockbuster big trades going into the future
going
now?
forward, I think
Because
I mean, they
this
kinda
has
have
changed.
to.
No, because this has like changed the NBA like in a big manner.
if the trade was a little bit more even, I think it could. But because this was so lopsided, and I mean, honestly, I think it's a bad trade. I really do. I think
Yeah.
Nico Harrison
For the
did not
Mavs,
cook.
yeah.
Yeah, for the Mavs.
Lakers, I think, obviously they got the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
You don't see a whole lot of trades like this. And in the past couple of years, there haven't been a whole lot of like more exciting trades. So this is cool to be an NBA fan and have a trade deadline. Like, oh, there's some stuff that happened.
Yeah.
And now there's some people wearing some different colored jerseys, and they're in a whole different place. And there is another sort of blockbuster deal that we got to talk about with my Chicago Bulls. They were like the Mavericks. They saw the Mavericks trade. They see everyone hating on them. They said, why don't we do a trade and do it even worse?
They wanted
So
some hate too.
we got rid of Zach LaVine.
They wanted to join the group.
Yeah, they felt bad for Nico Harrison. They decided, you know what? Let's cook something up here. So Zach LaVine goes to Sacramento. He joins DeMar DeRozan, former Bull. That's neither here nor there. De'Aaron Fox goes to the Spurs. Chicago gets whatever was left over. There's not
The crumbs.
The leftover
The
crumbs.
crumbs. They get the draft pick from the DeMar trade. I'm not excited, if you couldn't tell already. But De'Aaron Fox goes to San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama, the Rookie of the Year. He'll definitely learn from him, as well as CP3, who's been
Yeah.
there. They're a really young team, third youngest team in the league.
Mm-hmm. They are.
This could be pretty good for him.
Yeah. I think that's obviously not an exciting trade for the Bulls, but exciting to see what's going to happen in San Antonio. Wembanyama, really young. I mean, his playing style is obviously super different from anything we've seen with his height, and just I've seen like the pictures where he's doing the what's it called?
wingspan.
The
Oh, his
wingspan. That's
wingspan.
crazy, but
Mhm.
exciting to see what will happen down there. Not as exciting what's going to happen up in Chicago, but
No, but everyone knew that.
but everyone, yeah.
Where do they go
Everyone
from
knew that.
here?
We usually go up, but we've been going down for a really long time.
You think there's only one way.
You
Still go
you
further
would
down.
think. We got rid of our two best players the past 2 years and
Yeah.
really haven't gotten anything back for them. So
Front office problem. there.
really excited. I'm glad I'm just a Bulls fan because if I was a full-blown like all Chicago teams, I would be
Yeah.
I would be in a very
Yeah.
dark place. Right now, it's
Yes.
just the basketball.
What made you a
team.
Bulls fan?
Derrick Rose.
Oh,
I saw Derrick Rose, and
tired.
then Jimmy Butler came in. I love Jimmy Butler. The past couple months have been weird being a fan of him. But, yeah, I saw Derrick Rose. I got hooked, and then,
Never turn back.
yeah.
no.
Even through the lows.
Even through the lows. All my jerseys, everyone's gone. Like, we're going through it right now. But everyone,
Yeah.
at least we made a trade. That's all I can
At least
say.
we're on the
The
on
name's
the
out
list.
there,
We did the
guys.
trade.
The
We did
trade.
the trade. Yeah, and then there's a couple other deals. Like we talked about, the Lakers get another center in Mark Williams, who actually, I saw a stat. He has the longest wingspan in the NBA. I would have
it?
thought that would have been good to have, the number.
We'll
now that I
insert
think
it
about
here.
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
wingspan,
He has a longer wingspan than Victor Wembanyama, which I thought was crazy to see.
Yeah.
But back to Wembanyama, we talked about his play style. You can kind of compare him to KD, but he's doing things that no one's ever seen.
Mhm.
A guy that tall who can shoot it from that far out is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like in the past few years, too, they've been getting a lot of talent from overseas, which was something that hasn't been done a lot. So, I mean, now, obviously not as much as I would like to, but I've been keeping up with overseas, like, teams. So it's exciting to see what's going on, like, on other ends of the world and
Mhm.
what could possibly be in here next draft. So
I mean, this past year you had, I think, 2 French players go in the top 2 picks.
Yeah. So.
Following in Wembanyama's footsteps. So there's a lot of talent overseas, and then you look at like a guy like Luka, coming from Slovenia. So there's a lot of international talent in the NBA. Moving on to the college hoops here at Fresno State. They lost, but it was exciting to watch. Double overtime loss to San Jose State. A loss.
It was exciting if you're a San Jose fan. Yeah. It's not exciting to watch if you're a Fresno State fan.
Yeah,
you see your team lose
exciting
again.
up until like the last minute, I'd say. Like.
Yeah. 2 opportunities to close out the game in regulation in the fourth quarter. Missed a game-winning shot. First overtime period, missed a game-winning shot. But Coach Wahlberg says there's a lot to learn.
No buts.
No buts?
No buts.
Nothing.
No.
All right, what do we have this week for your basketball takes?
Well, I just don't know what Wahlberg was thinking when he was play calling at the end of the regulation. You have a chance to literally win the game, and you call a pass out play. I don't know, just driving into the paint. Like, I just certain play calls, it's like, it's just very questionable.
If it's a tie ball game, you don't need to shoot a 3. I think you can go for the higher percentage look. Which is, a little weird. You see that. I mean, you see that everywhere. You see it in college. You see it in the NBA. If it's a tie ball game, or if you're down by 2, you don't have to go for the 3. You go for the high percentage look, the wide open shot, if you have it, and then if you're forced to jack up a 3, you do that. You live by it. But 2 opportunities to win the game, tie ball game, that's got to sting a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, especially to read the story on our website if you haven't yet. Vincent wrote a recap, really well written. And freshman guard, Brian, career night, right? 19 points, 7 for 11 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. So, I mean, obviously those are all career stats for him, and that's really good. But it kind of goes to waste, or it feels somewhat spoiled when you don't pull off the win.
It doesn't go to waste.
This
kid's a freshman, balling out.
Mm-hmm.
He has so much more opportunities. And if I'm a freshman, at this point, we're having a losing season. I don't care if we win or lose. I'm playing for myself so I can go to a better school next season.
So that's what I mean. Like,
it's not a waste.
Not for him necessarily, because obviously transfer portal exists now.
It is
but
not a waste
for Fresno State as a whole, because having players like this doesn't come easy, especially as freshmen. And even in his quote, Wahlberg said, like, he did really good, but I still think he has room for improvement. Like, can you just give the kid, like, some praise after he did all that?
I think he did praise him, but like any sport, no one's perfect, right? There's always room for improvement, especially as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
You always still got room to grow in whatever aspect. So I think it's amazing. It's amazing that he did have those stats and stuff like that, but I do think this is an amazing opportunity for him to be able to, because also Fresno State basketball, there's a lot of questions. We don't know what's going to happen when we move to the Pac-12. So it's kind of really like you and yourself. If you get another opportunity somewhere because you're balling out here, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
So we're not trying to develop him. We're trying to get yours and then go someplace else.
At this point, as an athlete, you got to think about yourself, because you don't even know if your coach is going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's his
and you have a losing
contract
season
expiring, or when does
he signed 2 years, which is weird because they usually do 3.
Yeah, and in the 2 years is when we'll be moving to the Pac-12.
Going into that year.
Yeah. Well, he has 2 official years, so he spends 2 years here. They did add a 3rd year, but the 3rd year is the school gets to decide if they want to keep you or not. So technically there is 3 years, but it's basically only 2, because if the team doesn't want you going into the Pac-12 for the 3rd year, they don't have to keep you, and they don't have to pay you out your contract.
Yeah.
So
So you think he's better off just transferring out, or what do you?
Well, when a coach leaves, a player gets to get into the transfer portal without any penalization.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you have that in mind, right? You don't even know if your coach is going to be here. So do what your best interest is, but always play to your highest potential, because you don't know if a coach does leave, then I get to enter the transfer portal without any penalization, and I could seek other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next coaching staff, will they even want to keep all the players? Like, no, they might not even want to keep you. So might as well play for yourself.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
Go
mean,
get yours. If you get the minutes and you're a freshman, go get yours and,
Yeah.
and see where that takes you at the end of it.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
definitely a hot take, but I mean, it's understandable when it, just like the way this season has gone. I mean, it comes down to just playing your best, which I feel like he
Sometimes
did.
you got to be a little selfish.
Yeah, right. But
Do you think differently? Play for the
I mean,
team,
I'm
play for the
trying
coach.
to, I'm trying to be positive here. Basketball is a team sport, but at the end of the
But
day,
if you're
yeah,
playing at your full potential, then you're doing your part to help the team
it
win.
depends on what you want. What you want out of this. Are you trying to go to the league? Are you trying to win championships for your team? Depends on what you want to do. Are you trying to get paid? Because now you can get paid.
I think obviously majority of people, they always want to play at a high level of basketball. So I'm sure going into the league is always like a thought they have.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that's a goal for everyone. And if you see your team far from winning championships, maybe that's thrown out the window already. So
and even
what's
now,
left?
I feel
Get
like
paid.
in a sense of like the transfer portal, NIL, if this kid is doing good right now, say Mountain West tournament's coming up, what if he has like, a breakout game or whatever that's broadcast on the higher levels for more people to see? If he's about to get paid somewhere else, NIL here at Fresno State, like we've talked about many, many times, is not at the level compared to it is at other universities. So, I mean, it's more probable for athletes who are being outstanding here to move somewhere else if they're getting paid more, since they are able to get paid. So, yeah.
To be a freshman and compete at a high level is pretty cool. I mean, you saw Bryson Donaldson on the football team get a couple opportunities.
Yeah.
So when that opportunity presents itself, you got to take it. And he's obviously doing it. Had a career night just the other night.
But it's like, do they stay consistent after this? That's the hard part.
Just have to wait and see
That's
what
the
Wahlberg
hard
does. I mean,
part.
once he gets a full year under his belt, a full opportunity to bring some guys in, just have to wait and see. I think this
Yeah.
year is scrapped.
Oh, yeah, by far.
It's been scrapped. I mean, you got one conference run up to this point against Air Force. You don't have a whole lot. You don't have the ball rolling. Like, yeah, they lose double overtime. They had 2 chances to win. You could say, oh, it's a close game, but you have 2 opportunities to win. You need to take care of business, especially at home.
Mind you, again, they're playing one of the worst teams of the conference, too, and you have to go to double overtime. So, I mean, it would have been totally amazing to see Fresno State beat San Jose just because they have so many players that used to play in Fresno.
Yeah.
They have Donovan Yap, who was on the court, and they had Rob Viola, who was also 3 seasons back. He was with Fresno State also. Steven Vasquez, he actually seen playing time. He was a walk-on here at Fresno State. He is on scholarship now. So it's just, I mean, that extra, like, nudge on your shoulder
Yeah.
that, like, okay, obviously they're poised. They want to come beat Fresno and stuff. That's why it was such a kind of important game, I'd say. But at the end of the day, you really shouldn't be going into double overtime with the worst team in the conference.
Yeah.
One of the worst teams.
I think one of my favorite things to do is hop on X after a game. They'll post the final score. You got
A bunch
all
of
flooded with
Comments.
comments.
Yeah.
Some of it's like, Wahlberg, keep your head up, build this team up. The others, it's like, why do we even have a basketball program at
Yeah.
this school? So it's interesting seeing how people from across the valley gauge what's going on here.
Mixed
Some
emotions,
people,
huh?
A lot. Some people like Wahlberg just because of what his resume hasn't really done it at
Yeah.
D1 level, and other people are just, they're all in, get him a full year, get him to rebuild. So
Even then, though, I feel like it's hard to rebuild. Well, you said he has 3 years in his contract, but technically the 2 to prove himself. It is still hard to rebuild.
And he
in
already
just
used one.
Yeah, like he already used the one. So he just has another one to actually recruit people and make sure that they're able to play good for him to keep his job. So, I mean, it's a tough hurdle to.
Well,
hurdle.
they're going to have a quick turnaround. They play Utah on Friday. top team in the conference. One of the top teams that are up there in the conference. Last time they played, the game was really close again. You're going to have to start making a run if you want to make it somewhere.
Yeah.
But good thing is Mountain West, everyone starts at 0, but
Yeah.
Which is a
everyone's
plus
at
side.
the same place.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole lot of people right now. There's pretty much everyone above them. There's Air Force, and then Fresno State, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tough to be a Bulldog fan for basketball.
Yeah. Miracles do happen.
Yeah.
Not
Not very often,
I don't know
though.
if it'll happen this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, basketball, tough spot if you're a Bulldogs fan or if you're a Mavericks or Chicago Bulls fan. Moving on to the Super Bowl. It is
Lakers.
Super Bowl week. Big week for everyone. Big week for commercials. Big week for food. Big week for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Big week for Taylor Swift once again.
Big week
Oh,
for
God.
Taylor Swift. We'll see how many. We'll have a counter going. How many times we see her on camera. How do you guys feel about that? Because we've now had this is the second season
Yeah.
of it. How do you guys feel about Taylor
I'm
being
not.
shown?
I'm not the biggest fan of Taylor Swift. Not Swifties, please do not come for me.
They will.
It's too late.
Because
It's
They
too
will.
late.
Yeah.
They
It's already
will
out
come
there.
for you.
They're
But,
commenting already.
Damn. But I mean, good publicity, bad publicity, all publicity, right? But Taylor Swift, I don't like the way that she's always shown on like games. Is like, I want to see the play that just happened, not her cheering up in the sweet boxes. And I don't know, going back to my marketing class, my professor was talking about how that's like really good for marketing, so that's why they do all that.
Yeah, she has a big platform.
Yeah, now you have the Swifties looking at the Super Bowl or being involved in like the commercials, which is another part of the Super Bowl. So
I mean, there's this thing going around where it's like, who do you think Taylor Swift is going to have in her suite with her? Last year, she had Ice Spice in her suite.
oh yeah, I
you
forgot
know?
about that.
That was a big thing, like Ice Spice being in
it's
her
like so random.
Yeah.
Like Jason Kelsey introduced
Yeah.
himself to Ice Spice. Just a really weird
Yeah.
combo.
So there's a whole thing going on about who do you think is going to be in Taylor Swift's suite. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
What do you feel about Taylor Swift being at the Super Bowl?
Obviously she's gonna be there, but I wish she wasn't shown very much on TV, just because I like to watch the game, and I don't like Taylor Swift just because, obviously, I am a Niners fan. But I never really listened to Taylor Swift before. I did a little bit, but it's out of my playlist.
I think I used to listen to her a lot in like middle school and stuff, but that was like old Taylor Swift. Like was the Bleacher? What's that song called?
I don't even.
I don't know, but it's like a Bleacher song or something like that. But now it's like I just can't.
Are you a Swiftie, Finley?
No, I
Good
know
answer.
it might be a
Good
shock
answer.
to you guys. Not a
Good
Swiftie,
answer.
not a big Taylor Swift fan.
We
Believe
did
it or
not pay him to say that.
Believe it or not,
It's like pass him the cash.
I'm gonna say this, and this is 100% serious. I did not want to go. This was when I was in first grade. I went to a Taylor Swift concert.
This
What?
podcast is shut off right now.
My mom forced me to go. It
Oh
was me and
my
my brother and her.
goodness.
She was at the Save Mart Center, so this was a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
a
before
really
the
long time ago.
bracelets.
This was a really long time ago. So yeah, Swiftie fans, I've been to a concert. You haven't. So
Oh.
Oh wow.
You know what? To
But-
edit
Can we
this,
just like
clip this,
insert a
this is, like-
picture?
yeah, me at the concert,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
singing word
Yeah.
for word. No,
He said no.
no. I'm not a big fan of Taylor Swift's music, and I don't enjoy seeing her pop up on the screen in a football game. We had a story, was it this last year or last semester, that was written about the whole Taylor Swift situation.
Last
It
I
was-
believe it was
semester,
last
yeah.
semester. Yeah.
when it kind of got started, which was a very interesting read. You're getting a whole new audience, I guess, but is it? I think people sort of attribute Taylor Swift and bring all these fans with negative emotions because it's the Chiefs. Everyone has very strong feelings about the Chiefs,
Mhm.
whether you like them. My dad is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan because he likes people that win.
Give him a hard time this weekend.
And, you have this whole group of people watching football games, maybe not for the normal reasons people watch football games, but there's definitely
Mhm.
getting more eyes on. So like you said, publicity.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It is great marketing. It is amazing marketing because you already have your football fan watchers, right? And now you just brought in the Swifties. No matter how much they show Taylor Swift, you're not going to get the football fan watchers to stop watching football. So whether they hate it or not, it's not going to stop them from watching football. Yeah. If the Niners are playing Kansas City and I have to watch the game or I'm watching the game, I'm not going to watch it just because Taylor Swift is on the screen. So automatically you're getting those two different target audiences. So it's great marketing. Yeah. It's really good, especially for a Super Bowl game. Maybe that's why they keep going, huh?
That's exactly why.
Get more viewers. But yeah, so it is great marketing. But going on to the football side of...
Yeah, going back to the, the sports side, not the media side. Kansas City Chiefs against Philadelphia Eagles. Second time in the past 3 years that they're playing against each other in the Super Bowl. So very interesting matchup.
Yeah. The chemistry, I mean, a little different. Players have left, players have came, but... It's kind of like another matchup that it's like, dang, nobody wanted to see because we've already saw this before. Yeah. I don't think Kansas City's going to do it. I don't think they're going to be able to do it again. It's so hard to even do it 2 times. It's just crazy to me how they keep going to the Super Bowl. It's very irritating.
For sure.
But I don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to lead his offense. Yeah. In another historical 1-minute drive. I don't. It only works so many times.
You add Saquon Barkley to any offense, they're going to get amazing. When you have an O-line like the Philadelphia Eagles
Saquon is locked in.
For the NFC Championship, he had the highest betting line ever, and he smashed it. Gets another 200 yards. So when you add a guy like that to an already very good offense, you got Jalen Hurts, who's gets a lot of pressure put on him, but you have 2 really good wide receivers, a very good tight end. So the offense is really there. But then you look at the defensive side of the ball, they've played very well. They always have a pass rush. I mean, I'm a Packers fan. I saw that wild card game. Jordan Love had a second to get rid of the ball. The pass rush is constantly there. And then the DBs, they lock down everyone.
The thing is, Mahomes likes to extend plays, too. He uses his legs, he's a leg threat, and he's a throwing threat. But his connection with Kelsey hasn't been there these last couple of weeks. And Kelsey
hasn't been doing much.
And I think he needs Kelsey to be able to win the Super Bowl. Now, if their connection isn't there and hasn't been there, especially if you're adding the Eagles' defense, it's hard. I do think Mahomes will get around the pass rush for a little bit, but it's not going to last the whole game. You can't be running the whole game.
I think because Kelsey, throughout when him and Mahomes play, it's always 3rd and long, you're going to 87. He gets open every single time, it seems like. But now Mahomes has to go to different options, which is pretty interesting because you have an old Juju Smith-Schuster, an older DeAndre Hopkins who is not in his prime. I'm sorry, D-Hop, you're just not, no matter what you say. And then you have a young Xavier Worthy, who's definitely picked up the past couple of weeks.
Xavier Worthy, actually, from Fresno, so we'll tell him right there.
It's cool that he's in the Super Bowl along with Nico Remigio from Fresno State. But it seems like Mahomes doesn't really have his security blanket as much, and the run game really has not been there. Isaiah Pacheco's been injured a lot of this year. And it really confuses me because their offense is not doing that great as in years prior. They're still in the Super Bowl because of that defense that just finds a way to do it every time and get Mahomes the ball back when they need it.
Defense wins games. It is crazy. Offense not clicking. And they also do it because they got the refs on their side.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's why they do it. That's why they go back every time. I don't know. Mahomes is Mahomes. I feel like, gosh, I almost don't want to say this, but
it's like
he's a really good quarterback in the league, and it's hard. It's like Tom Brady now. It's like he's gonna be in the talks of he's better than Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and it's so unfortunate. Nobody wants to hear it, but he is gonna be in the talks of being better than Tom Brady.
And it's gotten to that point where it's like he's so good that now he's hated by so many people, which obviously I feel like it seems to be a motivator for him. It doesn't affect him much, but that also adds kind of that chip on the shoulder for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, hopefully he's able to pull it off because I'm rooting for the Eagles. But I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs can do it. 3-peat is pretty crazy.
The Chiefs just need their offense to step up in big ways. Young guys who don't have the experience. Xavier Worthy has never been to the Super Bowl. This is his first Super Bowl. The environment might be a little weird. It might not be the same. It's a big game. I mean, you're so anxious. Your heart's racing. Your blood pressure's high. So it's like, will he be able to step up when Kelsey's covered? Kelsey can't get open anymore. I mean, that's just going to be the big deciding factor, too. I don't think they're going to do it.
There's just a whole lot of matchups. I mean, I'm going to watch the game, obviously. I'm going to pick some players in different matchups and just watch them because you have a guy like Zach Bond who's had a phenomenal year, a great linebacker for Philly. Maybe he lines up against Travis Kelce, or you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson lined up against him, Reed Blankenship even. And then you look at that secondary, you got Quinyon Mitchell, who's a great rookie. You got Cooper DeJean, another great rookie, and then you got Darius Slay. There's just so many matchups, and the Chiefs are going to have to do this without Rashee Rice, who they've been without since week 4, which is really crazy because Mahomes was getting him the ball in those first couple of games.
Yeah.
And they've gone all this time without their wide receiver 1. They obviously got D-Hop, who's been serviceable, but Kelsey's been nowhere. He hasn't shown up in the playoffs. But they're still in the Super Bowl without having. It's just I can't wrap my head around it.
Let me help you.
You're gonna say the refs.
Yes.
Yeah. I know it.
The refs.
This year, I mean, at least for the playoffs, I haven't seen too much. In the regular season, definitely some interesting calls, but postseason, I haven't seen a whole lot to say that. I did think Josh Allen got the first down. But at the end of the day, you have 3 timeouts, 3 minutes left. All you need is 3.
Last podcast, did you say that?
Yeah, because it still makes me mad. Josh Allen, from the Valley, he's a fireball guy.
Did you say he got the first down?
I did, yeah.
Our podcast is up now.
Check the footage.
Our first podcast together, us 3, is up now. You guys can go watch it. Go check if you actually said that Josh Allen got the first down.
I'm pretty sure I said that. At least I
don't
thought.
know.
I think he got the first down. But at the end of the day, again, I said this last time, you have 3 timeouts. You have 3 minutes to go. All you need is a field goal. And you can't get in field goal range?
Yeah, you did say that. But
I
don't
wanted to
know.
scream that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time you see Mahomes go down, game-winning drive, game-tying drive, now this was Josh Allen's turn. And he couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and also you can't leave Mahomes at the Super Bowl if even the Eagles, if you go back, the Eagles can't leave Mahomes with time on the clock because he does Mahomes things, and I don't know. Well, let's food stuff. Do you have a favorite snack that you?
My dad puts on a pretty good spread, so it'll just be me and my parents watching the game, but we always have taquitos, we always have chips and dip, salsa. And then there's always some little dessert item.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we bring out a whole table and we're just snacking the whole time. So I'm excited for that.
Stress eating.
Oh yeah, I mean my team hasn't been in the game for 10 years now, but I'm still gonna watch it and be stressed out for whoever wins.
Favorite food, I would have to say any kind of chips. I love Lay's, so those are the chips to have at the table. For food, when my family does get together and watch it, it'll be at my grandma's house, so my uncle will barbecue. So that's really good. But I don't know if we're doing that this year because the Niners aren't playing. And
oh, come on.
Yeah.
Your team's not in it. You still got to watch it.
Well, I'm still going to watch it, but I don't know if everyone's going to be wanting to get together, too.
Deebo Samuel was wearing a A.J. Brown jersey recently. So I guess we root for the Eagles.
Well, I'm still
like
rooting for
wings.
the Eagles, yeah.
Wings are my favorite. They're simple. Wings are my go-to.
Blue cheese or ranch?
I don't like blue cheese or ranch.
Okay.
Neither.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
Neither.
I don't like blue cheese. I don't like ranch. Just give me regular buffalo wings, and I'm happy.
There you go.
Yeah. But that's my Super Bowl. Super Bowl food.
Big day on Sunday. I'll have to go to work, and then I'll try and get out
Oh,
of
it'll
there
be a
quick.
busy day, huh?
It will be, but the game starts pretty early, but it'll be an exciting weekend, to say the least. I mean, I don't want to see another banner get raised in Kansas City.
I hope the lights go off and never turn back on, so the game has to be canceled.
Oh my god.
Like, you know that?
Niners fan over here saying
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Got experience with that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do. With the brothers there, too.
But to close out this episode, we're talking about MLB because that's starting up very soon. Spring training, the first game starts February 20th because they're doing the Korea game again. They're doing that again this year, and that starts like early March. So baseball, I mean, they just keep pushing it forward and forward. Pitchers, catchers report, pretty sure it's this week. So baseball's back. I mean, you got college baseball starting up on the 14th.
For you Dodger fans, too.
Yeah.
We talked about the trade deadline. We could talk about all the moves that the Dodgers have made. A full episode on that.
They have literally a whole overseas team now.
They got
their pitch.
any and
Whole
everyone. I mean,
overseas.
and then they got Tyler Glasnow, who didn't even play in the World Series. He
Yeah.
was injured. They have Shohei didn't even pitch.
His arms
my
all
heart rate is
sliding.
going up. I'm starting to.
After Ohtani, they think everybody in overseas is going to be
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
so
you
amazing.
pick up Roki. You get.
They
I
think
feel
it's
like
going to
I'm
work.
started
Yeah.
You couldn't tell. They just get everything, and my dad and brother are Dodgers fans.
LA got money.
So they got money.
LA got money.
I mean, they will have money because it's all deferred.
yeah, they
so
will always
they
have.
just-
Yeah.
It's crazy. Obviously there's no cap in MLB, so you can pretty much do whatever you want. And the
That's
Dodgers are doing
another
it.
that can be a whole other topic also. It's just like other leagues and stuff like that, and how there is a cap and there's no cap in baseball. That's why the good teams will always be good. That's can be a whole nother conversation. But it is crazy. It is so crazy. Like LA will always have money just
annoying.
because how their system in the MLB works.
They have money, but they're also smart with the guys that they got.
Yeah.
Like obviously getting a guy like Roki really angers me because I mean everyone had a chance. But when you look at how they got Betts, Red Sox didn't want to pay him.
Mookie.
You look at Freddie Freeman, Braves didn't want to pay him. So they got 2 MVPs there. They got Shohei deferred all the way till, I don't know, 15 years from now? It's crazy.
I know.
But you look at all the other MLB teams, they had an opportunity to get these guys. They just didn't.
Don't
for some
pay
reason.
them.
And LA is just the hub for any and everybody. They just get everyone.
So you're not excited for baseball season then? No,
No, that's
let's
no.
just say that.
I'm
as a
excited
no.
for to be able to watch baseball again, but I don't know a team that can compete with that level. I mean, you get Blake Snell going there from the Giants. You get Glasnow if
Yeah.
he's healthy again. I mean, they have so many starting pitchers. I don't know what they're gonna do. They have everyone. They have everyone. Giants.
Have no one.
Well, the Giants got Willie Adames and Justin Verlander for some reason. I don't really
2
understand.
players.
Yeah. What? Enough about the Giants. What are your guys' teams?
Well, I'm a Giants fan too.
Oh,
so
there we go.
I am also
that's
a
why I've
Giants
just been
fan.
like quiet this whole time he's been talking.
Yeah.
He's talking for all of us. But I mean, it's cool to see the Dodgers, I guess, have such a super team.
You are not a true Giants fan then.
I'm a sports fan,
You
so I
hate
enjoy
the
seeing
then
good
you hate the
teams.
Dodgers.
Cool for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
fan.
that
No,
is
no,
hard
no.
to say. You don't say that as a Giants
Listen,
fan.
it's cool to see a super team when it's happening in your lifetime because you hear about all these super teams and we weren't born.
Well, I mean, okay, then are you happy for the Chiefs?
No,
You
Yeah,
can't say
well,
super team. You
no.
can't say super
No.
team. You're happy for them. Like,
I'm not happy for them. It's
You
just
said it's cool to see the replay the clip.
cool to see a super team when it's happening in your lifetime. I said it's
Yeah.
cool to see, but
it's
not
cool to
happy
see super teams. I mean, I'm a Bulls fan. I hated when the Warriors had that team. It wasn't cool to see. I hated it.
Well, you know what? It's cool to
She
see,
changes
not
her
happy
mind.
to see. That's what I was trying to. So
Yeah,
looking
no.
back on it, I'm sure it'll be cool and say, we got to watch baseball when the Dodgers had everyone. We got to watch basketball when the Warriors went on that run. We got to watch Kansas City Chiefs when they went
maybe
on
not that
run.
one, just because they beat the Niners.
No, I was fine with that.
No, not that one.
Twice, both times.
No, not that
Not-
one.
not
You
the
know, I
second,
was
both
fine the
times.
both times that the Niners beat Green Bay. Remember that snowy game?
Oh, I remember that game.
The Robbie
I think-
Gold kick.
That
You know, I
one.
usually don't like the cold, but I just really love the snow that day.
I've
We're
never
giving it
cried-
flashbacks. We'll
I've
let him
never
breathe for a
cried
little bit.
after a game. But that was as close as you can get for me, that snow game. I watched the kick go in, and I just laid on the floor.
Talanoa
Just-
Hufunga. I know you know who that is for a long, long time, huh?
Just
Just the name is giving him like.
Yeah.
A-Rod falls off. Devontae leaves. That was just so hard to watch.
Do you have a Devontae jersey?
I don't.
Wow, as a
No.
Fresno State
I
student.
have a Devontae shirt,
Not the same.
but he's coming back to Green Bay. Did you know that?
No.
He will be.
No.
A lot of people are saying that just because he posted a picture of him wearing green and yellow Jordans.
Oh, he
Oh,
just
wow.
really loves
Oh,
Aaron
wow.
Rodgers.
Just-
Come on.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
That, yeah, we got a whole lot of very good sports teams that we like over here. As you can, if you couldn't tell already.
Cool to watch, not happy to watch. You know,
And there
Cool to
will
watch.
be softball and baseball previews
starting soon.
on our Collegian website
Softball
soon, right?
starts Saturday.
I believe baseball starts Monday
So
or
those
this
Or
weekend.
they start on
Valentine's Day,
Oh,
yeah.
next weekend.
So those
Mhm.
previews will be out soon
Previews will be
also.
up.
So go read those if you want a little bit of background on what to expect out of
And
your
all about the
field
trade
team.
deadline.
Yeah.
There are some more deals that we didn't talk about.
Yes,
All about
there
the trade
are.
deadline.
Yes, there will be a little bit of what Finnley has to say about the NBA trade deadline.
Yep. A whole lot of stats.
It's like history, right?
Yeah.
It's like history. We're in history. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest trades ever, best teams ever. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be a
Pretty
sports
cool.
fan. Pretty
See,
cool.
pretty cool to
Pretty-
see.
Pretty cool.
Not happy to watch. You know.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Well,
agree. Anyways,
I think we're ending on such a cheery note. We should probably close this one out. That episode 2 will be in the books. Episode 1 should be out now. Episode 2, you'll be seeing this just in a little bit.
Also, really quickly, shout out to Erica, our graphic designer, who came up with our intro. It's already on the first podcast, but we didn't have it done when we were recording that. So,
You've seen
Shout out
this
to
at the
Erica.
beginning of this
Yeah.
podcast too.
and also too, who's our editor?
And 2, he's been editing, getting to work.
Yeah. So
Get to hear us for an hour straight every week.
yeah.
But you do too, so
Exactly.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on episode 2, and that Collegian Cooldown episode 2 is in the books. Thank
Yes.
you.
Bye.